Hey, shalom, shalom. Hayawam Tawab La Atham Za Akyakam Yawam Man Rachagador Charlotte, which is good day. This is your brother Yawam from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham Atham Kaya Hamalakwath Hashamayim Kwara, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layam La La Vanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahushah Bahasham Racha Kwadash Wamashana La Zakwanim Nawa Wamalakim Shaw Rachagador, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahushua, he delivers, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, this is a article entitled, it says Quantum Entanglement and the Power of Prayer. All right, which this is essentially goes into Esau's study in the power of prayer, because pretty much he understands that words have vibration, and that those vibrations are pretty much sound frequency, because when you go into like the power of words and stuff like that, words have a very strong power and a very strong frequency, because the words have the power to create, so I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Bara'ashit, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, and the Most High said, let there be light, and there was light. So the Lord Yahweh received the blueprint from the Most High Yahweh, and he created he created everything, so on a lower level, our words and stuff like that have power, so when we pray unto the Lord, that's a form of spiritual power, and the Lord is hearing our prayers. So I just want to go into that real fast. But this says, for since the creation of the world, the Most High's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what was made. All right, and it says, which they quote at Romans 1 and 20. All right, this is Romans chapter 1, and we'll get verse 20, and it says, verse 18, it says, for the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and the unrighteousness of men who hold the truth and unrighteousness, because every morning doeth the Lord bring his judgment at light, roughly paraphrasing. So it says, because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for the Most High hath shewed it unto them. For invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. All right. It says, because that when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. So there's a lot of people, 2/3, heathen are unbelievers, but everything that's created in this earth, was essentially made from the Lord's power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, But continuing on, I'm gonna go back, and it says, you are quantum entangled with the Most High, which when you go into that word quantum, all right, it essentially goes into quant, that goes into quantity, so at the smallest level and the highest level. So when you put that in reference to prayers, whether it's a small prayer in your mind or whether it's a huge prayer in your mind, the Lord hears it, So it says, I love the direction my mind goes when I think about a concept. Like, I love geeking out on these kinds of sermons. I preach sermons like this because I want to demystify spiritual power and recapture hope in the prayer. It says, quantum mechanics has shown us that there seems to be a different set of laws of physics at the quantum level, which eat the meat, spit out the bones, because pretty much that's what Esau calls it, quantum levels. It says, at that level, matter appears to respond to human observation rather than continuing along a deterministic course. So pretty much, because we believe on the word, we ultimately have a spiritual power. It doesn't, pretty much what the deterministic course is following is going into what man can perceive, because all things are impossible. Nothing is impossible to the Most High, But it says, from this understanding we can glean insight into the gift of prayer and how our prayer is powerful. It says, like the centurion soldier healed, Yahweh sending the word, or the centurion soldier healed by Yahweh sending the word. We are connected by an unseen field that can manifest the will of the Most High through prayer, because our prayers are powerful, And essentially the words that we're using, they come from Yahweh Shai, that righteous vibration when it's put out, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So constantly communicating with the Lord, pushing forth those good words, those good vibrations, the Lord is hearing that. He's hearing the things of the wicked too, you see, but what's going to the words that the elect is using in hope, you see, that's essentially the hope, corresponding with the faith is ultimately what's keeping the elect pushing by hoping on the word Yahweh Shai, But it says, I am not suggesting that the action of matter at the quantum level is spiritual power. It only helps us understand the unseen realm a bit more. I realize many strange ideas have been birthed from trying to manipulate matter due to knowledge of spooky aspects of the quantum realm, which again, this is Esau's terminology, eat the meat, spit out the bones. And it says, I'm not suggesting we try to manipulate the world through thought and intention, because everything abides by the Lord's will, so whatever someone intends to do, it just matters what the Lord wants. Let me get this real fast. This is Romans chapter 9, and we'll get verse 21, and it says, verse 19, it says, Thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? It says, Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that framed it, Why hast thou made me thus? So Romans 9 and 20 to 21, pretty much everything abides by the Lord's will, so it's not on what someone intends. This pretty much want to go into the edification of, how our prayers are being heard in the ears of the Lord, or pretty much going into showing that, our prayers are being heard. Esau understands that, and that's one reason that, he pretty much pushed, to keep the name a secret, on the left hand side, of course. But it says, I am not suggesting we try to manipulate the world through thought and intention. Instead, I am suggesting we use quantum level action as a parable to understand more about the spiritual realm and the power in us. So pretty much just going into this, it's a form of spiritual power. Prayer is. It says, what is quantum entanglement? That's what Esau calls it. It says quantum entanglement is one seriously long distance relationship. All right, and it says quantum entanglement is a bizarre counterintuitive phenomenon that explains how two subatomic particles can be intimately linked to each other, even if separated by billions of light years of space, which, that's Esau's measurements, which we understand that those are off. But in a lack of better terms, pretty much quantum entanglement, it goes into how quantum physicists have tried to label the power of prayer as quantum entanglement. When two units of energy, you see, because those energy are those vibrations, everything that has life vibrates, everything has a vibration, so we're just we're energy, created by the Lord Yahweh Shai, but it says when two units of energy link together in a certain way, no matter how far they are apart in a space. All right, I want to get this real fast. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 59. All right, we'll get verse 1. It says, Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. So it doesn't matter if you in China, you in Asia, Russia, Africa, if you part of the Lord's elect, and you're serving him with fear and trembling, hey, he's going to hear you, so, and Esau understands that. That's why he gave this a title. But I'm gonna get this real fast. This is James chapter 4 and verse 8, and it says, Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. That's that connection, because no matter how far the elect is away from the Lord, the elect is crying out, being in constant communication, developing that link through prayer, that spiritual power. So it says, draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh unto you. Draw nigh to you, cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. So that's ultimately that link. What links us to the Lord Yahweh, will be Yahweh Shai. That's why when we pray for things in the name of Yahweh Shai, but that goes into the spiritual power, All right, this is I'm gonna get this. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 17. All right, and just wanted to reiterate, the Lord is hearing our prayers. All right, this is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 17, and it says, pray without ceasing. That's heavy because it's a constant link. You want to be in constant communication with the Lord, because remember, going into quantum entanglement, so to speak, if that's what or more so specifically, a connection with the Lord, you know, because Esau likes to put different labels on things, but really it goes back to a relationship and connection with the Lord, you know. But that's ultimately how we're going to keep our connection with the Lord, by praying without ceasing, being in constant communication, you know. I'm gonna get this. This is Luke. This is Luke chapter 18. We'll get verse 1, and it says, "And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and to not faint." You see, so we should always pray and not faint. You know, we should pray to not faint. You know, we should pray that the Lord keeps the spirit on us. We should pray that the Lord keeps us in the mindset of constantly repenting. You know, because that's going to keep us in his good graces. You know, I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Romans chapter 12 and verse 12, and it says, "Rejoicing in hope, you know, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer." You know, rejoicing in hope. You know, we should have an expectation. We should expect that if we continue to do things as written in the scriptures, hey, the Lord is going to hear our prayers, for one, and then for two, he's going to answer the prayer. You know, if we're hoping and it's his will. You know, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. You know, continuing on, let's get Ecclesiastes Quahalath chapter 10, and we'll get verse 20, and it says, "Curse not the king, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter." You see, so the angels are making a report of everything, you know, by putting out different vibrations by the words that we use, that we choose to use. You know, they're carrying that, and they're telling the Most High Yahweh, you know, they're telling the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, what's going on. They're making a report, you know, because when you go into the word angel, it goes into a messenger, you know, and they're pretty much the Lord's messengers. All right, I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Second Esdras, also Isaiah chapter 15 and verse 8. It says, "I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." All right, because the elect is crying out and praying unto the Lord. All right, and complaining about all the wickedness and abominations that's being done in the midst thereof, like roughly paraphrasing, like it mentions in Ezekiel the 9th chapter. You know, we get that too. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, we'll get verse 4, and it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Yarashalam, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." You see, so the Lord is hearing the sighs, the cries, everything, you know, because he understands our thoughts, and the Lord knows our thoughts, you see. And then also the words that we choose to use, you know, because the words that we use, those are vibrations as well, you know, and those are being carried by what they call like frequencies, you know, and also those frequencies are wavelengths, you know, so we're putting that out into the air, you know, and ultimately going into how the Lord understands his creation, you know. But I'm gonna get this real fast. This is James chapter 5 and verse 4, and it says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you." James 5 and 4 says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth," which that word Sabaoth goes into Tazabah, the Lord of hosts, you know, the Lord of should go into heaven's armies, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it goes into the Lord of heaven's armies, you know. But pretty much the point, you know, being that, you know, the Lord is hearing the cries of the elect, you know, so our prayers are not going unheard, you know, they're not falling upon deaf ears. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to go into that, you know, our prayers are heard, are being heard, you know. So Adawan Tazaza Banaya Paulos with us a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wadawan Tazatam Yash Yawam Tawabe, Lord, as well. You have a good day. Washalam Lakam, peace into you, Washalam.